Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Farzy Show here, presented by Destination Retirement, destinationretirement.com. My name is Marc Farzy, out of here at the Steven Singer Studios. I don't know what it is. I think I fell in love with the air conditioning, and now I got a little bit of a cold. One of them summer air conditioning colds, so that's fun. This is me drinking tea, and normally I go by the Ted Lasso rules of tea, which is just kind of muddy water, basically. And it's not my favorite thing in the world. Not my favorite. No matter how much lemon, no matter how much honey I put in it, I'm telling you right now, I don't like tea. Not a tea guy. When you drink espresso, or as my cousins call it, motor oil, tea isn't for you. Tea is not for you. But welcome into the show nonetheless. Phillies just continue to give wins away. This one, you can't fully pin on the bullpen, but you kind of can a little bit. Ranger Suarez certainly didn't have his best stuff yesterday, the Phillies starting pitcher yesterday. Bryce Harper had a blunder in the running the bases, that is. You continue to have blunders in the field, and afterwards, and usually I'm usually inspired by people that remain cool under pressure. I'm usually inspired by people that somehow magically don't look like the boat's being rocked, but damn, man, this boat's a rocking. They need to do something to calm these waters. And what do you know? Joe Girardi, after the game, after all that he just saw on the field against the Braves, yeah, guys are just not playing well. That mentality does not match the city of Philadelphia, even a little bit. We're usually, just as I always joke, our hand is always over the panic button. We're ready to go, man. We are ready to start panicking. And when you get past the quarter point of the season, which the Phillies have done, and you see your team under 4 games under 500 and over into the luxury tax as far as spending goes, and you see the names in this lineup, you think that this team wouldn't be 4 games under 500. But here we are, trying to watch a baseball team pull itself out of the gutter when it just seems to keep on wanting to be in the gutter. You see that with what took place yesterday in the 5th inning. We'll get into that. We'll also get into Joel Embiid's social media comment after the game, during the Eastern Conference Finals last night. That sent a lot of people into a tizzy, and rightfully so, because Joel knew exactly what he was doing when he did it, and possibly help on the way for the Philadelphia Phillies. That's right. Mickey Moniak spoke to the media. Well, when I say media, he spoke to the R-Phils, the R-Fightin' Phils, the Reading Fightin' Phils Instagram account about how he feels at the plate and how that hand is coming along. And we'll hear from Mickey Moniak a little bit later on this show. But welcome in, welcome all. Let's start it off with the Philadelphia Phillies. JT Realmuto has this moniker that surrounds him called the best catcher in baseball. That's what JT Realmuto has. As we all know, he hasn't exactly played like the best catcher in baseball as of yet, but one thing you're expecting from JT Realmuto, regardless of what he does at the plate, you're expecting great defensive play. Yesterday, in that 5th inning that I mentioned earlier, he had a throw over the head of Gene Segura. Gene could have made a play on it. He didn't make a play on it. He tried to deke the runner into staying at second base. He didn't do it. The ball goes into center field, where none other than Odubel Herrera is waiting for the overthrow. Odubel charges, and the ball goes under his glove behind him. Runner's able to score from first on this play. That is damn ridiculous. Now, the Phillies, mind you, in the top of this 5th inning, managed somehow magically to fight back into this ball game. They were once down 4-1 at the close of that 5th inning. The top half of the 5th inning, they were actually tied at 4. So they had just battled back to tie this game. Dansby Swanson's the one that ends up scoring on this particular play. As you're watching it all unfold, you know that Odubel Herrera, and it's funny because I'll get calls from my dad and he wants to talk baseball. And he'll be like, you believe this Odubel Herrera guy? And I'm like, unfortunately, I do, because this is what we see time and time again. Now, he homered in the game yesterday. But I have referred to Odubel Herrera before, and I referred to him yesterday when my dad called me as a guy that makes Ben Revere look like a Rhodes Scholar. That's what Odubel Herrera does. The lowest baseball IQ of any baseball player I've ever seen. I am never surprised to see him mess up, swinging a pitch well out of the zone or between his legs, as he did a couple of weeks ago, or overrun a ball in center field that he is just there to back up. It wasn't even like a ball came off the bat funky into center field and he overran it. Like what happens sometimes. It was an errant throw that he couldn't come up and make a play on. So from that play on in the fifth inning, it was basically all they wrote for the Phillies. You have that play happen with Swanson scoring. Very next hitter, Riley, comes up. He hits a home run. And next thing you know, the Phillies are down 6-4. They end up going on to lose 8-4. Now, Bryce Harper he was a little excited, a little over-aggressive in that first inning, trying to turn a single into a double. He got thrown out. That wasn't a great play, but Bryce Harper has played like that since he has been here. That's just how he plays. And I'm going to go ahead and not be too pissed off at the MVP. He should know better. Is he the biggest problem of this team? Absolutely not. But yesterday, while I'm watching him try to take second base on a ball hit to right center field that the outfielder cuts off appropriately and throws it in, it was one of those plays that the ball was at second base. And then like 5 seconds later, Bryce Harper comes into the picture and he's thrown out. I was like, what were you thinking? What? Like, I know you're aggressive. I know you like to be aggressive on the base pass. I know that a lot of the guys in the lineup are struggling. You have a guy like Nick Castellanos who hasn't had an RBI in like 12 days. So for me, I don't know what to make of this. He has his first RBI yesterday, I think, in 12 days. So I'm watching this game unfold yesterday, and that was one of the first things that made me think that it wasn't going to go well, when Bryce Harper felt like he had to press and take second base. Now, later in the game, he ended up getting an extra base out of hustling a little bit. So that's just you take the good with the bad as far as I'm concerned when it comes to Bryce Harper, because you're going to get a lot more good than bad. And in total yesterday, including that play, because you get credit for the single, obviously, when you get thrown out at second, he was 4 for 5 yesterday, and he's batting .318 on the season. Oh, and need I mention that he is coming off that MVP season. So you see the game go on. You see Ranger Suarez not exactly dominating this game. When going into the season, I was worried about him. People were feeling good about his 12 starts last year. His 2 ERA, basically. They were like, "Oh, this guy's going to be great." I had my doubts. And yesterday, I know he didn't get a lot of help behind him in the bullpen, but when you look at how he played yesterday, he wasn't exactly popping the mitt. 4 walks yesterday, 4 1/3. 5 earned runs is what he ends up getting charged with on 6 hits. Not his best outing by far. But what you saw from this team yesterday was a team that just looked like they were stuck in the mud. It looked like they had a hangover from the night before, where Joe Girardi, again, mismanages the bullpen. And if there was ever a definition of a lame duck manager, like if you look, here's an old joke for you. If you look up lame duck manager in the dictionary or phraseology, whatever, a picture of Joe Girardi, particularly after last night's game, would show up. Because this guy just seems like, well, what am I going to do? I don't have a contract after this year. They haven't picked up my option. So what do you want me to do with this team? That was the type of body language and the kind of delivery of his messages that he had last night after the game. That's what I got from Joe Girardi. Well, what do you want me to do with this team? I'm not going to be here next year anyway, so go get him, I guess. I'm not the guy to want a coach or a manager in this case to go into the clubhouse like you see in the movies and flip over the snack tray or the snack table or dump a Gatorade bottle out or whatever. But it helps every once in a while. Talk about it all the time. Managers and coaches, they only have so many yelling and screaming fits they can have before they're just completely tuned out and ignored. And one of the things my dad asked me after during the game was, do you think this team is ignoring him? And it's funny. I don't think that this team is ignoring the coach. I don't think they hate Joe Girardi by any means. I don't think it's a question of not wanting to play for him. I just think it's a question of this team feeling like they don't know where they're going to be. They don't know where they're coming or going. You have guys playing left field, then right field. Then you have guys coming in out of the bullpen in different roles. You have the lineup switched up so many different times throughout the season already. And I know a lot of that is response to guys like Kyle Schwarber not filling the shoes of a leadoff hitter. But it's not like exactly like Rhys Hoskins is doing a great job of that right now. But you watch this team and you go, I don't think they hate their manager. I don't think they're begging for a change or anything like that. I just think that this manager right now is looking at them and being like, well, you guys play better, and then maybe we'll start winning games. Like, that's not going to motivate anybody. I think the only thing that can motivate anybody on this team, shake them up, get their attention, is moving on for the manager, who I think already knows he's on his way out. And how do I know that? You're over the luxury tax for the first time ever, and you're 4 games under 500. Cool. Doing a bang-up job there, Phils. Doing a bang-up job. And usually I don't pay attention to standings by any means, at least not at this point in the season. But now you're, like I said, you're past the quarter point in the season. And when you get to 500, that's where I'll start paying attention to what the hell you're doing as far as the standings go. But not to go there. Phillies went into this series 8 games out of first place. They're still 8 games out of first place. The Mets exactly haven't lit the world on fire over the last 2 games. They've lost their last 2 games, so they've given the Phillies a little bit of hope as far as hanging around. Meanwhile, the Braves are only 1 game better than you as far as the standings go. And the Marlins, well, they're only 2 games worse than you. But you know when you end up playing the Marlins, they're going to kick your ass because, well, that's what the Marlins do. I think really the only way you can shake things up enough in this clubhouse is to move on from the manager. And I think that happens in the very not too distant future. I wouldn't be surprised if it happened after this Brave series if they end up losing the 4th game of this 4-game series and they end up only winning 1 of 3. Especially when you look at the way the bullpen was handled, especially when you look at the way that this team has gone about the game. Well, a couple of things. You can always look at a manager for how he manages the bullpen. But the other is just overall lackadaisical play. I'm not going to sit here and blame Joe Girardi for Odubel Herrera not exactly being a heads-up guy. But Nick Castellanos missing a cutoff man yesterday and a run later scoring because of it. These are fundamentals. The job of a manager through 162 games is what everyone says. Manage the personalities. Okay. I don't know how great Joe is at that, but he ain't Charlie Manuel as far as managing a clubhouse of personality goes. And you know what? You also got to keep the team focused. 162 games. Wait for it. It's a long season. And these guys don't seem focused. I mean, Alec Boehm, I think, has done a great job this year. In the field has been questionable, but he's made some phenomenal plays at third base. He's made some plays that also make you scratch your head. No better example than the 3-error game. We all can talk about that forever. You look at guys like Gene Segura. He seems to have clicked it back into high gear for himself, which is great. And then you look at Bryce Harper, who, who knows, could be on the way to a 3rd MVP this year. There's a lot of things there's 3 guys that you can really look at on this team that really seem like they give a damn. And everybody else is like, well, here we go. Rhys Hoskins recently showed you emotion. If Rhys Hoskins, and I think he does care, I just think that the talent's not there for him. But when it comes to Rhys Hoskins, seeing him beat the crap out of a trash can earlier in the week made me actually feel good. Where is the closed-door meeting with Joe Girardi? Where's the, hey, guys, no press conference. I got to make sure I really shake my team up here. Like, Joe Girardi was a catcher in Major League Baseball. You had to go out to your pitcher every once in a while and calm him the hell down, either because he was erratic going into the game, he wasn't focused, the umpire was getting in his head, the umpire wasn't calling, balls, strikes, and strikes, balls, and all that stuff. The umpire was doing a terrible job. And Joe Girardi had to go out there and calm the guy down. He had to say something to try to rein him back in. Where's that guy talking to this clubhouse? Where is that guy? Because I don't think Joe Girardi is willing to do that with this team. And part of it might be, well, I'm gone anyway. They haven't picked up my contract for next year, so what do you want from me? Go team. The biggest thing is how much they're spending and how little they're producing. And when that happens, you don't just ask the team to leave and then they just promote all of Lehigh Valley, which sometimes I don't think it would make much of a difference if they did. But sometimes what happens in those situations is that the manager has to somehow get the best out of these players. And Joe Girardi certainly is not getting the best out of these players. No, he's not the guy that's pitching in relief. But you're not moving on from the whole team and then giving the manager a whole new team. The only change you make is you change the manager. And it looks like that's what the Phillies are going to do in the not-too-distant future. The reports haven't leaked out yet, But you mean to tell me you watch this team and you watch Joe Girardi after the game, and Joe Girardi is supposed to inspire confidence? Does he inspire? Like, if he's not inspiring confidence in you, the fan, I guarantee you he's not inspiring confidence in that clubhouse. And I'm not expecting him to say, well, we would have been better if Alvarado didn't suck yesterday or last night, tonight. Oh, yeah, it would have been a lot better if Rhys Hoskins, could figure out how to hit a home run again. That'd be nice. Oh, it'd be great if Nick Castellanos could start hitting bombs. Is he even earning his money? Like, no, that's not going to happen. But a little bit of honesty would be nice. And a little bit of emotion just to let me know that, yeah, it's pissing you off too. You know what? How about this? Don't even give me that emotion. I don't even need it. You know what? I'll take instead. He's having a closed-door meeting. Because at least you're addressing the problem. This team is so damn frustrating. Let me digress for a second here. April, did your daughter get her black belt? Did she do okay? April, I'm talking directly to you. I was thinking about this yesterday. I think because I saw you guys post something on the old IG, right? The old Instagram. And I just wanted to know if your daughter passed her black belt thing with the 81 moves. No, thank you. No, thank you. It's frustrating. Before I let you guys hear from or see what Joe Girardi had to say in our Rothman Orthopaedics post-game report, I do want to alert you guys of one thing. Did you guys happen to see this yesterday during Game 5 of the Eastern Conference semifinals? Eastern Conference finals between the Heat and the Celtics? Did you? Did you happen to see it? Joel Embiid, Miami needs another star. That's what he tweeted out during the game last night. And maybe this is just how it came up in my feed, but right away responding, two friends of the show. One, Tiago Scabia from thepaintedlines.com. He comes out there and he says, Philadelphia needs to come out of the second round. Great point, Tiago. And then friend of the show, Sports Center anchor, Temple alumni, my man Pots and Pans, Max McGee. Bro, you know damn well what this was going to do to people. Why? And I don't think there's any mistake whatsoever that Joel Embiid did what he did during yesterday's game. We don't need this in our lives right now. After all the support for Joel Embiid, the last thing we need is a fan base while we're trying to watch the Phillies try to be good at baseball and fulfill what a team that's spending over the luxury tax should be doing. We don't need Joel Embiid poking us in the next round of the playoffs that he's never seen for a whole variety of reasons. He's never seen. I didn't need that from Joe last night. And if there was ever a time where I was happy I don't take calls, that's the last thing I need. People trolling after what Joel Embiid had to say. So for me, I didn't need that last night. And I remember when Joel Embiid tweeted out last year, I think it was during the playoffs, I'm still unhappy. And it was a reference to the Hulu commercial I think he was doing at the time. I'm still very unhappy. Like, I wasn't thinking of a Hulu commercial. And people were like, oh, he's referencing a commercial. But most people reacted like I did. It was like, what the hell, man? Come on. Not cool. Not cool. Before we get our locker room report, in this case, our clubhouse postgame report from the Phillies, let me tell you about the great people at Destination Retirement, destinationretirement.com. My man Mike Seibert is a retirement income certified professional at Destination Retirement LLC and a partner of 1847 Financial and an advisor for Eagles, Sixers, and Phillies fans only, and maybe next year the Flyers. The answer is to have an income stream in retirement. And what's the question? The question, when it comes to long-term savings, why are you giving up your current enjoyment of your income? That's not what you do. It only makes sense to understand how retirement income streams work so that you can direct savings in ways that give you the highest income when you retire. Think of it like climbing a mountain. Is the objective just to get to the top of the mountain, or is the objective to get to the top of the mountain and then safely back down the mountain? Going up the mountain is your accumulation phase. Going back down the mountain is your distribution phase. These are the two different phases of your financial life. and each should be addressed separately. This month, let's talk about college planning. We all know that college is expensive. Have you ever thought about how it will affect your retirement? Let Mike show you an efficient way to help put your kids through college and still retire on your own terms. The first step is to avoid starting growth cycles over again by depleting accounts like 529s for big expenses like college, of course. And you don't want to lose your position on your growth cycle and have to start over because you can't get that time back. Instead, find out how your annual retirement savings can help your college savings and how your annual college savings can help your retirement savings. Mike will set up your own portal in Retirement Analyzer, then use the software to help you navigate through the different phases of your financial life. For questions or to set up a meeting with Mike, email him at gobirds@1847financial.com. That's gobirds@1847financial.com. Or simply call his office at 484-275-6035. That's 484-275-6035. You can also visit his website at destinationretirement.com. And as always, go Birds. How about my man Steven Singer of Steven Singer Jewelers, the other corner of 8th and Walnut, right there on Jewelers Row, online at IHateStevenSinger.com. Always fast and free shipping at IHateStevenSinger.com, where you get the perfect price. Other jewelers like to mark things way up just to mark it down a couple of bucks in front of you. Make you feel like, oh, I'm such a good negotiator. I got him down to this. At Steven Singer, you never have to worry about if the person next to you is paying less than you because that person, too, is getting the perfect price each and every day. Steven Singer Jewelers, one place, one price, the perfect price every day. You'll just marvel at the beautiful, dazzling diamond inventory that they have, and a real jewelry expert will walk you through it all because it is just that beautiful, and they're there to help. When you walk in, they want to make you feel like family at Steven Singer Jewelers. Steven Singer Jewelers, one place, one price, the perfect price. IHateStevenSinger.com. Without further ado, the good people of Rothman Orthopaedics bring us this clubhouse report, the post-game report, if you will. Let's hear from Joe Girardi about how this Phillies game went overall last night.
You gave it away, yeah. Alvin had a hard time throwing strikes. We have the ball missed, the throw from JT missed by a couple guys. And then we didn't do much after that offensively. It's unfortunate.
What was your take on that crazy play? Everybody missed it.
Yeah, it looked like Segi was trying to be quick with the tag, right? And they work on that all the time. And it looked like Odubel just peeked up.
And even it looked like maybe Stock had a shot.
Yeah, I think it was probably pretty tough for him. But, yeah, you're right.
Do you get what I'm saying about the body language and the delivery? That's just what happens, sometimes this is just all right. I mentioned earlier, when it comes to a manager, he's got to manage personalities. That's why he's a manager and not a coach. He's got to manage personality, and he's got to keep the team focused for 162 games. We're through 44 games, and this team looks far from focused. You have the play by Segura. It was more on Segura, I think, than anything. Couldn't make the tag, and then Odubel, of course, overruns it. But Odubel makes the egregious error because he was there to back it up. Otherwise, it just would have been, we would have had with Swanson at second base. That's it. And Odubel overrunning it allowed a run to score. So here's Joe Girardi on the little things in baseball that you got to do.
The general, I guess you'd say maybe sloppiness. I mean, you think Castellanos misses a cutoff, and that hurt because the runner moves up and eventually scores, and then Bryce's daring base running. Is that
little things add up to big results, whether they're good little things or bad little things, right? That you do, and sometimes they go unnoticed. But yeah, I mean, who knows what happens in the first inning, right? There's no guarantee that we score, but obviously first and third with one out is better than a third with two outs. Missing the cutoff man probably led to an extra run for them, and it makes a big difference.
Joe Girardi on the Titanic. There's water is supposed to be outside the boat. Water's now inside the boat. And that it can't happen like that. We don't like that. So maybe we got to get in some of those lifeboats. I mean, women and children first, of course. But yeah, let's hope we can get another boat. To me, it's like, dude, where's a little bit of fire? Like, I think Joe Girardi knows that better than anybody, you can have a team just implode all of a sudden. It's a long season, I get it, and you might still feel like there's time and all that, but when the money's being spent, ownership is looking at you like, anytime would be great. Anytime you want to start winning would be great. And then when you not just lose a game, but you give a game away, first off by bad pitching, second off by boneheaded plays on the bases and in the field, that you look at your manager going, well, what are you going to do about it? And looking at Joe Girardi after the game, it's just like, well, so, it reminded me, somebody referenced it the other day in the comments as well, about Cliff Lee. Somebody mentioned it about Cliff Lee. Yeah, that's baseball. And that's what it feels like with Joe Girardi. Well, that's baseball. It's a difficult game. What are you going to do, man? All right. Anyway, I'll be back at it tomorrow because there's a bunch more of these games. It's mind-numbing to me. It's mind-numbing to me. Also, no offense to our man in the chat here, mullet petition for Alvarado, but that Jose Alvarado guy yesterday did not have a good outing. I don't want to hot take you, but it was not a good outing at all by Jose Alvarado. He comes in, he's the first guy out of the bullpen for Ranger Suarez. He manages just 2 outs. 2 outs. 2/3 of an inning, that is, folks. 26 pitches. Allows a couple of runs to score. He walks 2 guys. He only gets charged for 1 earned run on 2 hits. That's 4 base runners, people, in 2/3 innings of work. Inning of work? Yeah. This guy was supposed to be one of the people you could rely on coming out of the bullpen. And yesterday, what do you know? Again, he wasn't. Joe Girardi on one of his favorite bullpen arms to go to.
Yeah. He has had his moments where he's been really good, and he's had his moments where he struggled, and some of it is, strikes, right, for him. His stuff can be electric, but tonight he really struggled.
Remember those 26 pitches I told you about? 12 of them were strikes. 12 out of 26 pitches in 2/3 of an inning. And if that wasn't the most, well, I guess we'll get on the lifeboats because the water is in the boat and it should be out the boat. The band is playing. I don't even know what song, but it's annoying. I'm trying to concentrate, but it's okay because they're a band. That's what bands do. Joe Girardi's attitude to me right now looks like a guy who is resigned, but he's also about to get fired. Like that. Well, like if there's nothing else you could read into it other than, I'm gone in a couple weeks anyway, maybe. What do I care? That's kind of what it feels like. I can't go up there and hit. I can't go out there and pitch. I can't go out there and drill it into Odubel Herrera's head how to field basically a grounder. What do you want from me? I don't know. Something. I'll beg for a closed-door meeting. Beg for it. They're supposed to be a better team on the road than they are at home. They're on the road. Still not winning. I look at the manager for things like that. Oh, is it the manager's fault that Rhys Hoskins can't hit? No. But when you look at the entire team in a funk, with these, like, even Bryce Harper, who is our golden boy, man, when he tried to stretch the single into a double yesterday, I went, hey, I'm all for aggression, and I'm all for Bryce Harper's aggression, but that was stupid. We can say that. We can acknowledge it. When I see Nick Castellanos miss a cutoff man, I'm like, okay. When I see Odubel Herrera overrun a ball thrown to center field, basically, come on, man. There's just too many mistakes that this team's making that are little league mistakes. It shows me the manager does not have this team focused. Oh, they're professional athletes. How they're supposed to be focused on their own? No, they're not. I know everyone wants to live in this perfect world where guys always take pride in their job and they're always 100% focused. No, that's why there is a manager. Guys need that extra kick in the ass every once in a while. There's still people. Oh, but they're professionals. Have you ever met a professional in any other walk of life that was always on 100% of the time? It's rare. You ever have somebody come work on your house? And they just don't seem like they're into it today. They're just, I said I'd be done that job by 3. It's going to take another 2 days. Like, oh, really? Like, they're a professional. How do they not do their job? Yeah, okay. Come on. You ever go to a grocery store? Like, any walk of life. These are just the first things that pop in my mind. Because I like to do my own work in my house. But sometimes I'm not a professional. So there you go. I have a lower bar, I guess. It's mind-numbing to me to think that this team finally spent well into the luxury tax by signing Nick Castellanos, also bringing in Kyle Schwarber, paying Bryce Harper the ungodly amount of money that they're paying him, of course, $330 million. And they lack the ability to give you heart, give you emotion, let you know that they're struggling along with you. When Reese Hoskins beat the crap out of that trash can, it was like the best I felt in a while as a Phillies fan. Now, I think the manager showed a little bit of that. And I ultimately think that's what makes a great manager, is knowing when those moments have arrived for you to say something. And I can't imagine a better time for Joe Girardi to say something than right now with what we're watching in this Philadelphia Phillies squad. That was your, oh, my goodness gracious. So, Odubel Herrera, folks, had that home run yesterday. Herrera is now batting .257 with a .282 on-base percentage and has been, lackluster there in center field. He's got 3 home runs, by the way. Mickey Moniak, who hit .378, I believe, in spring training. .378 in spring training with 6 home runs. Looked like a guy that had finally put it together. It's spring training, but it's also spring training like that from a number 1 overall pick. A guy you've been chopping at the bit to see, hey, are you ever going to reach that potential? So Mickey Moniak goes out yesterday for the Reading Fightin' Phils and hits a home run in one of his rehab games. Afterwards, people from ReadingFightinPhils.com, from their Instagram account, caught up with Mickey Moniak. Here's how Mickey's feeling after hitting a home run last night.
Really good, really good. I feel like, took 6 weeks off, obviously, and once the hand was good to go, I feel like I picked up right where I left off in spring training. I feel like I didn't miss a beat. I think that has to do with just a lot of grinding it out while I was hurt. I think, for the last 6 weeks, just doing every possible thing to keep my body in shape, keep my mind right, be able to get back out there and pick up where I left off once the hand was healed, and I feel like I've been able to do that.
Mickey, you can't come back fast enough. And here's what it's going to come down to, because, I know that Odubel Herrera can hit you some home runs. I know that he can get hot and look like a guy who's an all-star. He can play amazing for a month. Can I just get a consistent fielder and a consistent guy at the plate to – here's what I'm asking you to do, Mickey Moniak. Can you hit 260 at the big league level? That's all. If you want to do more than that, the floor is yours. Hit a couple of home runs too? I just need you to play a heads-up smart center field and hit 260. I'm setting the bar low. I'm not looking for him to come up here and be our saving grace. I'm just looking for him to come up here and be our saving grace to Odubel Herrera. That's all I'm asking. That's all I'm asking. I feel like I'm asking for piles of gold. That's what it feels like when you're asking for a center fielder for the Phils. It's beyond frustrating. And hopefully Mickey Moniak can give us some relief when it comes back to the big leagues in the not-too-distant future. Let's keep our fingers crossed for that. That was our Rothman Orthopaedics post-game report, brought to you by the great people of Rothman Orthopaedics. When you have an orthopedic issue, you need a physician who eats, sleeps, and breathes orthopedics. You need an exceptionally specialized Rothman Orthopaedics physician. They not only specialize in orthopedics, but each of their physicians only focuses in on one area of the body, which means you can have the confidence to get past the pain and be what you were. Learn more at RothmanOrtho.com. That's RothmanOrtho.com. Rothman Orthopaedics, the official orthopedic partner of your Phillies, Eagles, and Sixers. That's RothmanOrtho.com. How about the great people? If you haven't seen it yet, ladies and gentlemen, check out this logo. Look for it in the App Store or Google Play Store. Versus Game. That's right. Download Versus Game. Download the Versus Game app right now to your phone. Go and follow the Farzy Show and answer the question that we have going for you this week. The question is, who will be higher in the standings by May 30th at 11:59 p.m.? That's 4 days from today. Today's May 26th already. Good golly. Who will be higher in the standings? The Fish from Miami or the Phillies from Philly? Who will be higher in the standings? That's our Versus Game question of the week. Download the app to your phone. Go ahead and peruse, look around. You could bet on, you could guess on, you could try to say who's going to do what in pop culture, in sports, in anything. One of the things I saw is a new album that came out. How many sales will it have? Will it have more or less than this number? It's always binary. It's always yes or no. It's always this or that. That's a very simple thing. So make sure you download the Versus Game app to your phone right now. Let the games begin. Follow the Farzy Show. And make sure you guys follow the questions that we'll put out from the show, along with a little bit of a video. So if you miss me during the day, boom, there I am, asking you a question about who's going to be higher in the standings and what else is going on in the world of Philadelphia as far as our sports world is concerned. So download the Versus app to your phone right now and have yourself a good time. How about Freestone Farms CBD? Freestone Farms CBD. I know you've tried many other CBD products, but first off, let's start with this. CBD, CBD, best quality that you'll enjoy, most relaxed, help you bounce back from a workout, help put you to sleep at night, and this little caveat that goes along with it. 20% off upon checkout with promo code Farzy at FreestoneFarmCBD.com. That's FreestoneFarmCBD.com. You like to use CBD, huh? How about 20% off? Use promo code Farzy. You got to check out their menu at FreestoneFarmCBD.com. Oh, you'll love it. Like the new tropical tasting Bayox that clocks in at a chart-topping 24.1%, and a super CBD, which is half Hindu Kush at 21%. The genetics of these are absolutely off the charts. They grow their premium hemp flower in the garden state with all organic inputs and IPM. There's absolutely nothing synthetic from farm to jar. After harvest, they carefully preserve all plant compounds with a perfect 3-month cure. Just one look or smell is enough to know it's CBD done right. That this product is great for anyone looking to take the natural approach to everything that they put in their bodies. And once again, 20% off upon checkout at FreestoneFarmCBD.com when you use promo code Farzy. That's FreestoneFarmCBD.com, promo code Farzy for 20% off. How about the people at PHL Sports Nation, Philadelphia Sports Nation, enhancing your Philadelphia sports fan experience across all social media and blogs? That's PHLSportsNation.com. Let's jump into our chat check. I asked a question earlier, specifically of April, because we wanted to know how her daughter did her black belt test. Unfortunately, she was under the weather. April, I saw that comment. She was under the weather, so she wasn't able to test yesterday. I'll just say this, April. When I went and got in first grade, my white belt with 2 stripes, I had a little case of the sniffles. You know what? But I knew those 2 stripes on the white belt. Now, for those that don't know, a white belt with 2 stripes means you're somebody that wasn't quite good enough to get a whole new belt. So they're like, just give this guy 2 stripes, and that's his participation trophy. See you later. I could do a good kata. Okay? I remember that. But I fought through those sniffles to get those 2 stripes. No, in all seriousness, sorry she wasn't able to test. But hey, best of luck next time. Maybe one day. I don't even remember how many belts are above the white belt. But the white belt's the lowest. The white belt is me at a golf outing on the celebrity list. And then when you test for your black belt, the totem pole, that's Dr. J. Like at the golf outing I told you guys about on Saturday at Riverwinds with the live casino people. Dr. J celebrity guest list number 1, down to number 25, Marc Farzetta. Pretty much is how it wasn't numbered, but as far as I was concerned, it might as well have been. That's the the black belt versus the white belt 2 stripes. That's how that goes. Kevin, good morning. Sean, good morning. Mullet, what's popping? Benny, what's up, Benny? April, hello again officially. Phillies Sports Pod. Hey, what's up, guys? Nice to see you. Dan Schwartz, Reese Hoskins' trash can was asking for it. This is true. Mullet, Troel at his finest. Let me just say this one more time about Joel Embiid. I'll show the tweet again for the people watching. This is the last thing I needed in life. I did not need that little, the Phillies are terrible. Oh, the Celtics are playing really good basketball. This is fun. And I hate the Celtics. And then Joel Embiid. Boom. Right there. Miami needs another star. Well, the quarter's in the machine because everyone knows how much you love Jimmy Butler. Come on, man. What was it after the shush incident where Joel Embiid told everyone to shush? Right? Shush. Everyone, the Jimmy Butler put it out there saying, "I know a place where villains are loved," meaning Miami. And Joel was like, "Yeah, that's right, brother." Like, no, we don't. Come on, man. Joel Embiid's like our gleaming hope when it comes to the Sixers. Everybody else is like, well, maybe they'll trade Thibault and get something. Maybe they'll trade Tobias Harris and get Bradley Beal. Maybe there's something. Can Daryl Morey just fleece someone and get the Sixers another star? Because you know who else needs another star besides Miami? The Sixers. So let's maybe do that instead. But you're right, Mullet. That was Trowell at his finest last night. April, we both heard my name and we were like, huh? She ended up not testing last night. She did not feel well. She will test next week. Okay, next week. Fingers crossed. Francesco. Phillies are incredible disappointing. Par for the course for Philly sports as a whole. I do not detect a lie. Bobby Boucher, what's going on there, Bobby? Mama says good morning. Oh, April, was there allergies? You did do a COVID test negative. Good to know. Good to know. Mullet, time for Modiac victory tour. Yeah, I could use that. April, I just lost IQ points listening to him. I assume that's Joe Girardi. Dan Schwartz, Joe Girardi, thoughts? What the hell are they going? Oh, when the hell are they going to fire me? I'm sick of coming up with answers to these questions. I wonder what's for dinner tomorrow. Sean Gillespie, Joe on the Titanic. That was a fun bit. Yeah. The band sounds really good, though. I mean, let's look at the bright side, guys. Okay, so the boat's going down. It's ice cold water. I think we hit an iceberg. Somebody said, okay. That's okay. So that's obviously not good. But let's look on the other side. I think the band sounds really good. I mean, they're really on point with the notes they're hitting. They're just great. Let's just focus on that for a second. Joe, we're dying. See a woman down there on a door. There seems to be plenty of room for her boyfriend, but she's not moving over. You know, that's survival. That's survival. Sean, I think Joe took too many CBDs. Fuji, what's up, man? 105 days so the Eagles kick off the 2022 season. You know, I'm glad you brought that up, Mike, because a couple people went off on my rant that I did about Jalen Hurts and his mental toughness, his mental strength, his focus, his concentration, and how we need to applaud that. And they're like, "Oh, that's nonsense." And I'm like, in this day and age, where we talk about people like Carson Wentz who crumbled here in Philadelphia, basically. We saw Ben Simmons crumble here in Philadelphia, and it did not work out for anybody. Like, I think a guy that is willing to say, I'm above it all, like I'm above that criticism, not that he's better than the criticism, but he's not going to let that affect him. That's not where he gets his motivation. He gets his motivation from his desire to succeed, which I think is the best and healthiest place to get your motivation from. Like the people that always are like, this guy said I couldn't do it and I was to prove him wrong. I've heard this from people about like when I wanted to go into broadcasting and when I wanted to go into sports talk, whatever. No, nobody does. Okay, you're not going to be in sports talk. I did radio TV for 15 years. Now I can do my own thing on my own because of what I was able to build up there. Anyone who told me I couldn't, I'm like, okay, adorable. Like, see ya. I didn't give a damn. I didn't find motivation there. Just use myself as an example so I don't out anybody else. To me, it doesn't make any damn sense. Getting it from just knowing that you're good, I think, is the healthiest part about it. Jalen Hurts, improve your accuracy, improve what you're seeing in front of you, and I think we're going to be talking about a franchise quarterback after this year, if he does those two things. Here's what I can tell you. I know he's been working on it. What I can't tell you is that he will be better. I would love to tell you that. I expect him to be better, but I can't tell you right here that, Jalen Hurts is going to go to the Pro Bowl next year. Love for it to happen. Just don't see it happening. Mullet, can Mickey Moniak flip a bat over routine pop-ups? Now that would be an Odubel Herrera thing. Mullet, Miyagi speaks of two-stripe Farzy-san. Oh, that is great. Oh, okay. Yeah. All right, April. That's where I was confused. Miss Scusi. So she already has the black belt. She's going for second degree black belt. It's a year's worth of testing to get to the next degree. Damn, man. God bless her. April, seriously, keep us posted. Keep us posted on how she does. Sean, make room on that door at the Titanic. What's her name? Rose, of course. Rose is her name. I love how much attention that's got. Rose from Titanic and Jenny from Forrest Gump. Two of the greatest villains in movie history. And Darth Vader. I think you can go Darth Vader. I think those are the two people we can look at the most and say, what the hell are these people doing? Thanks to everybody in the chat check. Much appreciated. You guys are great as per usual. And yes, April, please keep us posted. Oh, April, she's partway through the year. January, she'll be up for second degree black belt. Okay, there you go. So wait a minute. Does my 2 stripes mean that I'm a second degree white belt? Or do they not give a damn about people that low in the totem pole? Just like, hey, here's your participation trophy. Just step over there, son. Go home and watch Ninja Turtles for inspiration, which is what I did. I ate a lot of pizza. Thanks to everybody in the chat. You guys are great, as per usual. Let's move into our morning rush, brought to you by Sky Motorcars, SkyMotorcars.com. Phillies wrap up this 4-game series tonight. 7:20 start time. Aaron Nola gets the ball against Kyle Wright. Couple of guys that are putting together some decent seasons. Nola, not so much as of recently. ERA just sub 4. Kyle Wright, 4-2 on the season with a 2.49 ERA. Aaron Nola, obviously, coming off a rough outing, if you will, against the Dodgers. They lose 7-4 in that game. He went 5 1/3, allowed 4 runs, 2 dingers in that one. And that was just when you thought Aaron Nola was getting back to the Aaron Nola that we have seen so many times before. Hopefully this will be another bounce-back game. I feel like every time I talk about the Phillies, I got to use the word hopefully. But here's my number one hope. I need something from Joe Girardi, and I doubt I'm going to get it. I'm saying this with the vast majority of my confidence being that the Phillies, that Joe Girardi is not going to do this. But I need something from him to rein this team in a little bit. He's not going to snap his fingers and manage the bullpen better. This is how he does it. This is how he does it with 3-day rules. If you didn't see the story from Scott Lauber, I wanted to get into this here in the Morning Rush segment. Scott Lauber talked about how Corey Knebel understands Joe Girardi's 3-day rule. Like if he's used a pitch for 3 straight days, you're not pitching again. He could have used Corey Knebel for a 4th day against the Braves to try to close out the game 2 nights ago where Bryce Harper gave the Phillies the lead in the top of the 9th inning, a 1-run lead. Instead, he opted not to go to Corey Knebel, and they end up blowing the save and losing the game. You could have guaranteed yourself at least a split of this series, and now you're being threatened to lose 3 of 4 in this series. That's where the Phillies are right now with their backs against the wall. That's the rule. But Knebel said that he would have gotten on the phone, wanted to get on the phone, and argue his case. Joe, this one time, please, let's break the rule. Let me go out there and pitch. And Joe Girardi would have said no anyway, probably. But at least the guy's thinking about it. But I need that guy. Like, if we're going to be against analytics and we're going to be against pitch counts and whether or not guys get tired and all that, if we're going to be against that, you need one guy at least to step up and say, no, I can take the ball. Give me that ball. Bryce Harper just brought us back. We're up 1 run. Give me that baseball I'm throwing. I'm your best chance to win this game. I'm your best chance to close this game out. Somebody. If the manager's not going to do it, if he is so stuck in his ways that even one little, diverting a little bit from that normal path that he's on, for the sake of closing out this particular game in this particular situation, which is the number one reason people hate, one of the 2 reasons people hate analytics, is because you go with your gut. Oh, this guy, he says he's got it. Let me go to him. Instead, they end up blowing the game. But I need a little bit from Joe Girardi to pull this team into focus. because they do not seem focused. And last night was a game that I thought you lost because you lacked focus, whether it was your starting pitcher not being able to throw strikes, whether it was your first reliever out of the bullpen coming into the game to throw 2/3 of an inning and throw 26 pitches and only 12 of them are strikes. Jeez. This team, whether it's Nick Castellanos missing a cutoff man, whether it's Gene Segura not catching a ball from JT Realmuto, the ball going in center field and your center fielder overrunning it, whatever it is. Bryce Harper trying to extend another base or take an extra base, whatever it is. What are you going to do as a manager that has nothing to do with your binder, Joe? What are you going to do as a manager that helps rein this team in? Because the impression we get from outsiders' perspective is that your hands are in the air and you're going, well, I don't have my contract picked up for next year, so I'm just a lame duck. These guys even going to listen to me? Well, you've been around the game a long time, Joe. Player, World Series champion, as a player and a manager. Maybe you could have some clout. Maybe you have some clout no matter what your contract says. Maybe as a baseball player, as a baseball man, you have some clout with these guys. Whatever it is, this team looks like a rudderless ship. And they need somebody to pull them in. And that was not another Titanic reference, that much I promise you. The Phillies, ladies and gentlemen, after this game, they got a 3-game set at New York. I honestly think that 3-game set in New York could be the end-all, be-all for Joe Girardi. After that, you come home for a 6-game homestand between the Giants and the Angels. How funny would it be if you welcomed Gabe Kapler back to town, and right before the series, you fire the manager you replaced Gabe Kapler with? Gabe Kapler would be there with his beautiful beard and his chiseled jawline. And you'd just be there like, hey, you could have had me still. Manager of the year. That's just what he would be like, Gabe Kapler. That's all I'm saying. And then they play the Angels. Mike Trout comes to town, so everyone's all excited from Millville, which is just adorable. That's what you got for baseball. Once again, Phillies back at it tonight, 7:20, trying to avoid losing the series 3-1, going for the series sweep with Aaron Nola on the bump. Mickey Moniak's rehab stint continues in Reading, which we talked about earlier. He had the home run last night, which is always nice to see for Mickey Moniak. Hopefully he'll be up in the not-too-distant future. There's that word again, hopefully. I got to Joel Embiid stuff. I was reflecting on the Jimmy Kempski conversation we had yesterday. Here's a little thing for you. We've talked about the upgrades that they've made on the roster. We've talked about Jimmy Kempski talked about the difference between this team and all the acquisitions and the team that made all the acquisitions prior to the 2011 season. A lot of it was training camp. You were kind of thrown into the mix there because of the lockout, so guys didn't have time to get on the same page preseason-wise. Now they have time to get on the same page preseason-wise. Big difference. The other thing that I was reflecting on yesterday after the show that was just rattling around in my brain was a couple of things. We had been talking about for a while now the receiving core of the Philadelphia Eagles. Wide receiver-wise, it's the best wide receiving trifecta the Eagles have had in a long time. And Jimmy pointed that out yesterday, and we've talked about that. And he got into the trifecta, the idea of that. Whether you talk about a guy like Quez Watkins being the number 3 person, whether you talk about your tight end, a guy like Dallas Goedert being another great target for you as well if you're Jalen Hurts. But having Devontae Smith, A.J. Brown, Quez Watkins, Dallas Goedert as your number 1 tight end, and then you have guys coming on the backfield that can catch passes for you, like Kenny Gainwell, like Miles Sanders, Boston Scott, of course, is another one. When you talk about all these guys, you talk about all the weapons that you have on the offensive side of the ball. But mainly, we have talked about the Eagles having the best 2 wide receiving tandem they have had in a very long time. Now, all of a sudden, with James Bradberry being here, and according to James Bradberry, he covered the number 1 guy most of the time throughout last year, which is true, while as a member of the Giants. You now have 2 number 1 corners. I think you have an elite corner in Darius Slay, and then you have a former number 1 corner in James Bradberry. So my point is, we have been talking about this best wide receiver tandem in decades for the Philadelphia Eagles with A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith, and then possibly the best 3 with a guy like Quez Watkins as your speed guy, right? We've been talking about that for a while, since the trade at the draft. But now you could be talking about your best, or we are talking about what could be your best defensive back combo since Lito Shepherd and Sheldon Brown. Since Bobby Taylor and Troy Vincent. You could be talking about, depending on how far back you want to go. I am going to really try, leading up to football season, to manage my expectations. Like, I am going to temper my expectations is what I'm going to do. Because I feel like anytime I get too excited, I feel like I jinx the team. And I know a lot of people can identify with this, especially in recent history. We were all hyped about the Sixers. They fizzled out in the second round continuously, if they get to the second round. We got hyped about this Phillies team over the luxury tax, adding all the names they've added, and still the bullpen lets us down. Managers let us down. Everything has just continued to let us down. I feel like I'm going to be such a guarded fan when it comes to this Philadelphia Eagles team this season that, like, I'm going to try to make sure I'm not looking for the negative. Like, first off, don't give me too many negatives in the first place. But I'm going to be like, okay, hold on. If Jalen Hurts comes out and has, like, a great training camp and is accurate and defense is throwing him different things, he's breaking it down, he's hitting his throws, he's making the right reads, and they go into preseason, he gives you a snapshot of that. Okay, all right, not going to be overhyped. I'm not going to say they're going to win 13 games, but they're going to win 13 games. Like, I'm not going to do that. Not going to do it. But, man, I'm going to want to. But I look at what Howie Roseman has done this offseason. I give him every ounce of credit. He's had a great offseason. As the old cliche goes, they don't have Super Bowl parades in June. They certainly don't have them in July. They don't have them in August. But the road to those parades, they officially start in September. Right now, we've seen all the materials collected to pave that nice road. All I'm asking for this season is to know we have a quarterback. And that's the number one question. Right after that is how Jonathan Gannon, as I've said many times, will handle the new pieces to his defensive puzzle. But ultimately, everything is going to hinge on your quarterback. Yes, healthy. Guys have to stay healthy. All the obvious things. Let me just get those out of the way. But ultimately, what you're going to know about this season, what you want to take away from this season, is knowing that you have a starting franchise quarterback. That's what you want to know. And if you don't, as we talked about with Jimmy Kempski yesterday, if we don't, then one of those 2 first-round picks that you have is going to be used to get yourself a franchise quarterback. And that'll be the end of the road for our man Jalen Hurts here in Philadelphia. I'm rooting for him. And to a degree, I am betting on him. I have confidence that he will be much improved. But he's got to do a lot more this year to show you that he can be the franchise guy. Because, unlike other seasons, with that whole health caveat with everyone around him, he's got the weapons. Jonathan Gannon, you got the weapons defensively. Make something happen. Jalen Hurts, you got the weapons offensively. Make something happen. Nick Sirianni, with your game plan, you got to make something happen too. But the throws will be right there to be made. Jalen Hurts has got to make them. I was ruminating on that for a long time yesterday after that conversation with Kempski. First, the wide receiver issues, how they seem to be solved on paper, and now also the defensive back. We could be looking at our best wide receiving combo and our best defensive back combo. I don't know if those 2 things have ever happened at the same time in Philadelphia, but that's what it seems like right now. Something that they actually get it done this year. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening, everybody. Much appreciated. Fuji, you like that impression of Gabe Kapler? It might help because I'm so stuffed up today. But anyway, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. This is the Farzy Show presented by Destination Retirement, destinationretirement.com. From the Steven Singer Studios, I'm Marc Farzetta. Jim Hyder produced the program, did a hell of a job. Jim's going on vacation, everybody. So bid him adieu. He'll be back with us Monday. Jim, you back Monday? That a fella. So tomorrow, get ready for all sorts of technical difficulties. I'll be running the show. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Jim produced the program, did a wonderful job. Enjoy vacation. Jim, this is a Blood Sports Entertainment production. I'm Marc Farzetta. Have a great rest of your day, everybody. Take it easy.